What's going on, everyone? It's your favorite minority from the loud majority, touching base with the bass. It's been a little while since I did one of these, but I think it's perfect time to get back on here and start making these reaction videos and basically bringing you guys some information about what's going on and about a lot of things happening that most people don't even know about. Okay, most people don't even know about these things. Like when I bring these things up, people still are in the dark about a lot of this stuff, and that's just I still don't understand how most people don't know about what's going on across the country, especially leading up to an election. Um, you have people ready to blindly vote for somebody simply because of their genitals, not because of what they're, capable of doing as far as helping the country move forward. And I don't mean that in a progressive manner. I mean that, you know, to help us actually prosper and move forward. So, with that being said, this particular episode, this particular segment, or whatever you like to call it, I don't know what people call. I guess people still call them episodes. I don't. Whatever. We'll call it an episode, right? This particular episode is about um a series of events happening across the country in different states. So far, we have two states. We have Illinois and we have Colorado. Now, Colorado was the first, and as of this morning, well, I'll be honest. I've seen reports of this happening in Illinois for a while now, but as of this morning, this particular incident happened in Chicago, which is very, very similar to a situation that happened in Colorado. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about these Venezuelan gangs taking over apartment complexes. Yeah, that's right. Taking over apartment complexes. And when I say that, I don't mean that they're just moving in. They're not just moving into the complexes. No, they're arming themselves. They're patrolling the complex as if they're security. They're frightening the residents. They're scaring the shit out of um the landlords, the maintenance workers, to the point where they won't even come. The landlord won't even come to his own complex to collect rent money. The maintenance workers won't come there to, do any necessary maintenance on the apartments in the complex. So people are living with things not working properly, living in crazy conditions, and the maintenance man won't go there because they're afraid that they're going to be murdered. Because these guys, I don't know if you ever seen New Jack City. I mean, New Jack City is kind of a little bit before most of y'all time. Um, well, depending on who's watching this, but yeah, it's a movie we grew up watching in my generation. People my age group, people older than me as well, where they basically in a part of Harlem, a bunch of drug lords, they took over the project building, and they took over by arming themselves and basically patrolling the building as if they were security, as if the building belonged to them. So that's kind of what we have happening, and now we have reports of this happening in Chicago as well. So this isn't an isolated incident. This isn't something that's just happening in one particular area or in one particular place. This is something that's now happening in multiple states in the United States of America. This is what we would call a coordinated effort, a coordinated attack. This is what we would call an invasion. I would call it an armed invasion. Just because they crossed the border without guns doesn't mean it's not an armed invasion. They invaded our country, and now they've armed themselves to the point where they're turning these apartment complexes into their own personal fortresses. And the local police department is telling people they can't do anything about it, which is strange to me because, I mean, why can't you do anything about it? I mean, if there was anything you can do, wouldn't this be one thing where you could just kind of say, you know what? Yeah, you've gone too far. They've gone too far. And we don't care about their immigration status or anything like that. But I think that anybody who comes into the United States and decides they want to arm themselves and take over apartment complex or any type of facility or building, they need to be dealt with accordingly. So without further ado, I got a video I want to share with you guys that I'm going to show you. So take a look. Okay, now this video is a former gang member, Chicago, explaining how, the Venezuelan migrants are the ones pretty much, they're pretty much the ones causing all the violence right now in Chicago. Like I said, they've been out there for a while. It's just a particular incident that happened in one state and then happened in another state that gives me the feeling, well, that pretty much confirms for me that this is a coordinated effort. This is a coordinated incident. This is not something that's just happening simultaneously, randomly. This is happening simultaneously because it's organized. So I'm going to play this video. Now, this is actually a reaction from Anthony Brian Logan. He's going to, he's going to show the video. So take a listen. I'll try to
Former gang member Trenches News says that illegal aliens from Venezuela are terrorizing Chicago locals. Let's talk about it.
I'm going to fast forward.
How's everybody doing? My name is Place.
Now, he can't show the video because Vlad copyrights videos. It's on Vlad TV. And Vlad copyrights his video, so you can't use his videos on your videos, or it'll get flagged, whatever. So it's just gonna show the picture of him, but this is from the interview that he did with Vlad, where he's talking about these Venezuelan gang members. Take a listen.
The entire DJ Vlad interview in the box. And we're also going to see one more clip after this. I'll place both clips in the box if you want to see it in full without my commentary. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Well, you've actually said that Venezuelan immigrants are responsible for a lot of the crime that's happening in Chicago right now.
Yeah, they are. They are, Vlad.
How so?
They walking around with machetes. It's like they trying to take the. I don't know what they doing, man, but they robbing people. They shooting people on the red lines. They kidnapping people. Like they finding women in trash cans and garbage bins and shit. Like some things like you aware of that wasn't happening before they got here.
Now, think about it. Some are going to try to miss parts of what he said. They're going to say, machetes, you guys got these fully automatic Glocks with the switches. But you didn't hear when he said that they're shooting people. You didn't hear that part. People hear what they want to hear. And also, it's just a different level of criminality. You already got a gang problem in Chicago. This is just making it that much worse. And it's preventable. See, the gangs that exist in Chicago was hard to manage because they're from there. They live there. Their grandmama lived there. So it's hard to manage it. It's a cultural issue within the city. But then when you're bringing in new people and they're already gang members south of the border, that is totally avoidable.
Like, and due to the president, the senior citizen, he a vegetable. I don't even know why he the president. But due to him trying to get a vote.
Listen, truth be told, every day I have to be reminded that Joe Biden is still our president. Because I done forgot he was our president. Because where he been at? Where has he been? Where has Joe Biden been? Like, can anybody tell me where he's at, what he's doing? Like, this man is, ultimately, he's not in charge. He's not running the country right now. I almost forget every day that this man is our president. I'm not going to lie to you.
Trying to get in and beat Trump. He willing to do whatever to beat him. Now they getting these guys IDs, man. When illegals was able to get ID. Like, y'all getting them state IDs, who paying for this? Who paying for $9,000 for them to get a month?
Now,
government.
What he's talking about, they're giving them state IDs from what I heard. And there's also a program in which they get like cash, money, and assistance for the rent.
The United States government. The same United States government that keeps swearing up and down they're going to give black people reparations, blah, blah. I don't know why y'all keep falling for that shit, man. They ain't giving y'all no reparations. They just going to keep dangling that shit in front of your face like a carrot. You ain't never getting that. But look at how fast they give money to other people. Because they trying to replace y'all, man.
I'll get to that video in a minute. But this is real things he's talking about right now. And I know it's kind of hard to understand him. He is wearing the mask to cover his identity. And you got a Chicago accent on top of that. But what he's saying so far is what I've already responded to. Let's keep on going.
We ain't even getting 9,000 a month. The people who've been over here. Like, it's crazy, man. I can't wait till Trump get in. I can't wait. Kim Fox, count your days. Count your days, Kim Fox.
Now, y'all know Kim Fox, that's the Cook County State's attorney. That was the woman behind the whole Justus Smollett case, pretty much getting a slap on the wrist at best.
She lied.
Should have been penitentiary time, in my humble opinion.
Oh, yeah, she did fraud. She committed fraud.
Well, yeah. I mean, since our last interview, they tried to kill Trump.
Try to take my boy out. I was mad, bro. I was mad, but I was happy when he threw it in the air, man. I was happy. I said, my boy alive.
Yo, listen. When the gang members in Chicago start saying we need Trump back because shit done got too bad out here, you know that's a problem. You know that's a problem. When the gang members in Chicago start saying, yo, Trump got to come back because this shit getting crazy. What? Wait, I'm sorry. What? Come again? Come again? That's crazy to me. But I just want people to remember that, like, I was doing it before it was cool. That's all I'm gonna say.
He done survived one. Now y'all can't hate on Trump. Y'all can't say racist. Hey, look, his own people try to take him out. His own skin color try to take him out, man. I told them, bro, like, the crimes that happen, it be on that race. Black on black, white on white, that's how it is, bro. That's how it is.
Okay, now you're going a little bit too far now, because I just want to address this point, and then I move to the next piece, which is a woman talking about what illegal aliens get in Chicago. But before we get to that, the whole black on black crime thing, now he's kind of conflating the issue that's true with something that he thinks is false to try and disprove it. You understand? So let me explain. Now, he's talking about the proximity argument. Usually when a crime is committed, the person who is closest to them does it, which would usually be the same skin color. That's usually how that goes, right? And he's correct about that. Most of the time when a black person kills a black person, it's a black person that does it. White person killing the white person, it's a white person that does it. But what he's not saying is the level at which each race hurts each race and the level at which each race hurts the other race. Okay? A stat I give you right now, and then I move on. Not 1350, but the whole thing about 50% of the murderers in the country being black, but also 48% of all the murder victims being black in this country, despite us only being 13% of the country. So how do you get to be 48% of the victims, but yet the crime is committed at the same level as other races? It's not possible. It's not. We got too much crime in the community. It's a high level of crime in the community. That's the problem. And when they say black on black, it's to let you know, hey, it ain't the white man doing it to you. It's you doing it to you. So if you want to fix the problems in your community when it comes to crime and violence, look at the man in the mirror. That's where you start. Look at your own kids and your grandkids, nieces and nephews. What are they doing out there in the street? Don't worry about what the white man got going on. Now, I'll leave the rest of that in the box so you can see it.
You tell me.
But this is an interview about what's happening in Chicago as far as the illegal aliens and what they get. Check it out.
What's going on with the migrant crisis here in Chicago?
So I will tell you right now, I'm a person that lives on the south side of Chicago, and the migrants that have come in, at one point they were coming in, we were feeling very sorry for them because they came in at a time where the weather was cold. So we're seeing all these people in tents and all this and that, but then we find out that they're getting.
And that was by design. If you don't think that was by design, you don't understand how the government works and how these people behind all this shit works. That was done on purpose to manipulate you, to use your humanity against you. And say, oh, you're not going to leave them out here in the cold, though, right? You don't want them to be stuck out here in the cold. I know y'all don't want to sound like them Trump supporters, you know? And the crazy thing is, ever since then, you know what's crazy is that ever since then, Chicago, a lot of the communities coming out of Chicago, if you close your eyes and listen to a lot of them speak, those black people and those black communities in Chicago, you think you were listening to a bunch of Trump supporters. I kid you not. You would think you were listening to a bunch of Trump supporters. The way they're talking now, oh man. Oh man, get them some MAGA hats.
$15,000 in food stamps, $5,000 in cash. I work for a company, which I will not say, that they're able to come in and they're able to get internet and Wi-Fi and all of this for free because guess what? The government are paying their rent for 2 years? Why is the government paying people that came from another country rent for 2 years? Can we explain that?
All right, I'm gonna cut the video there. But that's true. She has a point. She 100% has a point. Why is the government doing all this shit for all these other people? And meanwhile, the only thing they doing for you is like, oh, we got to tax you more. We got to take more money out your paycheck that you work for. I mean, what part of this makes any sense to you? There's a thing about caring for people, but then there's a thing where it's like, yo, dude, like, you quite literally got your hand all the way in my pocket, and it's not benefiting me at all. All these taxes and all this shit, like, where is it going? Like, what is it doing? So, people really got to start asking themselves a lot of questions, man. Got to start asking themselves a lot of questions about what is more important to you, especially this election cycle coming up. What's more important to you, yo? Who you gonna choose? Who you gonna go with? Which outlook for America are you gonna go with? Are you just gonna go with somebody because of what they look like and because of their gender, which plays no part, which really does no part to help in that particular, that particular position. That's not gonna really help you when it's time to do business. I'm not gonna jump in. I'm not gonna jump in and say it's gonna hurt. I mean, there's speculation that it can, but I'm not gonna just automatically go that route, even though I got my own personal beliefs on that. Personally, I don't think it's gonna work. It will work in her favor to be trying to deal with these other world leaders who swing their dick, no, pause, who swing their dick around for a living. Like, yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like, but it is what it is. I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, this is becoming clear that this is not just like it's not just a one-state problem, man. This is spreading. Like, this particular situation with these migrants and taking over these buildings and shit. It's spreading. It's like the beginning of a bad movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, when things are just starting to get bad and you're like, wait a minute, it's not gonna get that bad, is it? And the next thing you know, 6 months from now, this shit's like all over the country. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to wait till that happens. Nobody wants to wait till that happens. So that's why we're talking about it now. That way we can raise the awareness. We got about 2 months to the election, pretty much. And I'm about to go hard for these next 2 months, letting everybody know what's going on, because y'all need to know what's going on. All right? These motherfuckers is coming over here. I'm sorry to say, sometimes y'all got to hear it raw. These motherfuckers is coming over here doing whatever they want and getting away with it. Getting away with it. You feel me? That's the sad part, is that they're getting away with doing all this shit. They getting bailed out. They getting, like, it's crazy. Literally, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz was bailing motherfuckers out for doing all types of crazy shit. You don't think that these motherfuckers is gonna get? You think they're gonna get punished? You think they're gonna? Nah, not with this administration. They don't believe in punishing people that do bad shit. They believe in punishing people that do bad paperwork and shit like that, and people that say the wrong thing on the internet. They don't want to go lock up no real criminals. Look at the Lake and Riley situation. Poor girl. That was a migrant. If I'm not mistaken, he was from Venezuela. Okay, look at the officers that was attacking NYC. If I'm not mistaken, those was Venezuelans. You got the Colorado incident. Now places like Chicago. And this is before the complex situation, the apartment complex situation. They've been causing trouble in Chicago. I've been seeing things about them causing trouble. But they're just getting more emboldened, man. The cops are, oh, we can't do anything. We can't do anything. What? You can't do anything. Doesn't even make sense, man. But I posted about this earlier on Facebook about the situation in Chicago and how it's spread, and then of course there's always one person. Oh, it's not real. It's fake. So I'm gonna pull up this video, and you tell me if you think it's fake or not. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can really say. It's up to you. You got to judge. Take a listen.
Trespassing the building, showing guns in the courtyard, and they have motorcycles in the courtyard as well. All stairwells are filled. Nothing further is unclear. Hey, I'm sorry. You headed over to the ShotSpotter or to the 6124 on King for the migrants?
On King Drive.
All right, 10-4. There's another available unit arrive at 310. We had multiple calls. Person with the gun, 6124 South King. Also came over to disturbance, large gathering. Could be 32 Venezuelans trespassing in the building property, showing guns in the courtyard. They have motorcycles in the courtway, all stairwells filled, and nothing further.
Wow.
Unit 10-3, I'm citywide. Person with a gun, 61.
Crazy. 32 migrants entered a courtyard of an apartment complex, and they were armed. Now, that's crazy. Like in itself, like just like thinking about that's crazy. Just like that's bananas. Like imagine being there and seeing something like that. Now, if this is real, which you got, I got one person so far to claim that they don't believe this is real, but they said that this is AI generated or something like that. I came across an article that says that police authenticated the phone call, and they actually responded to the phone call, and they showed up to the location. They didn't go into detail about what happened when they arrived. They basically didn't tell anybody what happened once they got there, which I'm assuming they probably showed up and they either scattered or they hid the weapons or whatever the case may be. And then they hid behind the squatters' rights and all this other bullshit and sanctuary city bullshit, and they were most likely just let go. Now, why do I believe that? I'll show you another video in a minute that'll show you why I believe that. And then you try to argue with me and tell me if you believe that these things are happening or not, which I believe that they are. Because for something like this to even, to get the attention of the police to the point where they actually had to show, they actually showed up, and then they authenticated the phone call, which it wasn't AI. Somebody called this in. This was actual phone call. Because like I said, somebody tried to claim that this might have been AI. But no, they authenticated the phone call. That was a real human, that was a real person on the phone that called, and the police went and went to the location. But they did not speak on what happened. They did not tell anybody what happened once they got there. Or at least they didn't alert the news about it or the media about it, which maybe we'll find out in the next coming days about what happened. Probably not, because they're going to do everything in their power to cover up what's going on. They don't want the world to really see what's going on, because if they did, then they would have to explain the root causes of it and who's responsible of it, and they're not going to do that in an election year, which would pretty much put the blame on Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. So there's that. Now, the issues at the border get worse every day. I mean, at the end of the day, there isn't even really an issue at the border anymore. People are just literally walking through. So there's not even an issue. They're just walking on through now. I mean, it's an issue for all of us here, but it's not an issue for the people at the border, because they're getting there and they're getting in every day. Now, Kamala Harris was named the border czar, no matter how much the media tries to get on TV and tell you she was not named the border. Yes, the hell she was. There's actual video of Joe Biden naming her border czar and putting her in charge. She was not in charge. She was not put there to find out the root causes of immigration. You don't need to be put in charge of the border to do that. That doesn't even make sense. Those are two separate issues. Two very, very separate issues. You do not need to be called named the border czar to find be put in charge to find the root causes of the issue, which is what? Racism? What are you claiming is the root causes here? There's no root cause. The cause is this: countries have walls. You have to go through the process to get into those countries. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris pretty much perverted the idea of freedom in America to the point where it'd benefit them, where they could just import a bunch of migrants in, try to give them citizenship so they can vote, promise them a bunch of shit. That way they can gain new voters. That's the only reason that they're doing it. It's just that simple. It's pretty much just that simple. So. But yeah, there was the Biden administration is responsible as a whole is responsible for this particular issue. Okay. We can keep like the funny thing to me is that they really get on TV every day and claim she was never named the board. There's literal video. You can pull this shit up anytime you want. Anytime you want. Okay. And then they try to cry and whine about this phony ass border bill that the Democrats put up. That the bill pretty much still allowed more than 5,000 people to cross a day. And all it did was promise millions and millions of more dollars to other countries. Now you can make your comments about the other bills that have been passed by Republicans to go to with money by Republicans for money to go to places like Israel and that. And guess what? I don't disagree with you on that. I don't want my money going there neither. But that bill was bullshit. It was bullshit. It did absolutely nothing to protect the border. Nothing. It wasn't about the election. It wasn't political. It simply just didn't do anything to protect the border. And all it did was promise more money to other countries. That's literally all it did. So, anybody who's still hung up on that shit, like, you really need to like quit whining about that, because that's not real. It's not real. They didn't offer any actual reform. The funniest thing in the world is that they don't even need a bill. They don't need a bill. They don't need a bill at all. They can literally close the border right now. They can put Donald Trump's remain in Mexico policy back in place right the fuck now. They can do it right now. They don't need a bill. They're holding America hostage. Like, give us this or we'll continue to let it burn. Like, that's pretty much what they're doing. Like, they got a gun to America right now. Like, give us what we want or we'll blow its brains out. And like, they're inching closer every day to pulling that trigger. Like, because I mean, technically they've already pulled the trigger, man. People think that the war, like the fall of a country is like some cinematic shit, like in a movie. It's not. Slow and painful, man. It's not like action-packed and loud and explosive like in a movie. It's fucking slow and painful. And if you're paying attention, we've been watching this shit happen for years now. It's crazy. It's just crazy. But they, like I said, they reversed Trump's remain in Mexico policy, so they're directly responsible for what's happening at the border. It's literally just that simple. Just that simple. There's no complication around it. Keep Trump's remain in Mexico policy in order. You got way less people crossing the border. Okay. Let the Border Patrol do their job. Stop tying their hands behind their back. Let them do their job. That's it. End of story. Okay. Now, the reason that I believe that the Chicago cops or PD, whatever, you know, the depending on what particular place area of Chicago that was in. The reason why I believe that they probably got there and then just let like these migrants like go and do it like and just let them probably walk and didn't even bother to like investigate the situation further is because this next video I'm about to show you. Apparently now in sanctuary cities, if a migrant commits a crime in that city, the cops won't arrest them because it's a sanctuary city. And it's like, I understand not arresting them because it's a sanctuary city. So I understand not arresting them because of their immigration status. But if they commit a crime, you're still not going to arrest them just because it's a sanctuary. That doesn't even make sense to me. So check this video out that I came across where basically it says that these cops are refusing to arrest this man because they're in a sanctuary city. He's in a sanctuary city and he committed a crime, but they won't arrest him because he's in a sanctuary city. And apparently that means that he has like some sort of diplomatic immunity or some type of crazy shit. So take a look at this. Oh, I gotta hit the share screen. Oops, I almost forgot to hit the share screen on you guys. Take a look at this.
Can you please collect the information? He said that he's already illegal. He already said that he.
Let me read this first. It says, a cop tells a citizen who's reporting a crime committed by an immigrant, I've arrested a double homicide suspect in the city before. I let him walk out the door because we're a sanctuary city. We do not report illegals, undocumented immigrants. So you're going to let a person who went to prison, he committed a crime in America, who's illegal right now, you're going to let him go free right now. This is from the citizen. Officer, that's exactly what I'm saying because we're in a sanctuary city. What the absolute fuck?
Okay, hold on, let's back up a little bit. First off, we're a sanctuary city. Even if he is legal here, we cannot call ICE.
Okay, but you still have to report that, right?
No, we don't. Because it's a sanctuary city. We do not report illegal undocumented.
So you're going to let a person who went to prison, he committed a crime in America, who's illegal right now, you're going to let him go free right now to this elevator.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Because we're a sanctuary city. I've arrested a double homicide suspect in this city before and let him walk out the door because we're a sanctuary city. We're not going to call ICE to come pick him up and deport him.
He came to pick up $320,000 from your, him, or mine grandmother and grandfather, and he's walking away freely right now, right? That's what I'm understanding right now.
I understand that, but you're asking me to call ICE or the...
I'm not asking you to call ICE. We're just asking you to take seriously that he's trying to repeat offend when he's already illegal.
He flew
repeating
from
what
New
he's
York.
already been doing.
He said, I'm in Chinatown in New York. They pay for his...
Well, grab his information.
There you have it. I mean, that shit sounds crazy, don't it? It pretty much, like, listen to the cop, like, the way he speaks. He sounds like he's defending the... Even when he says, oh, I arrested a double homicide person. Yeah, I let him go because I'm not gonna... Like, are you defending this guy? Like, you sound like you're ready to, like, give up your job for him and shit. Like, but then again, not from the looks of it, the officer looks like he's minority himself, just like me. So he probably sympathized. Yeah, but that's a double homicide. Whatever. Suspect. Well, but whatever, I guess. As long as he's the same skin color as me, I guess I gotta just sympathize. Yo, this shit's insane, man. This is insane. Like, I feel like it's common sense to like point this how batshit crazy this shit like is. Like to point it out. It's common sense to point it out. And the fact that like people who do point it out get ridiculed so much and they get like put down and talked down. It's like, bro, like, how could you defend this shit? That's crazy to me. But it is what it is. This is what's going on in the world today. This is what's happening. This is what people have allowed in America. And personally, it ain't going to get any better if people don't start looking deeper within and starting to understand that, like, especially my generation, like, I feel like my generation is still so childish. It's like, yo, it's okay at some point to change, to completely change your outlook on life and start to look at things from a more serious aspect. I think social media has kind of like made everything seem not as serious. when it is, you know? So I feel like people need to start getting a little more serious about what's going on, especially if you got kids. Politics affects you. Okay, it's the road you drive on. It's what your kids are taught in school. It's what you eat. It's the price of your groceries. It's the price of your gas. No matter what they try to tell you, oh, presidents don't control gas prices. Yeah, but policy affects everything. And bad policy will raise your gas prices and your grocery prices. It will, 100%. So don't let these people fool you. Okay. I'm gonna end it here. Keep this one short. It's your favorite minority from the loud majority, just touching base with the base. Y'all have a good one till the next time. Peace.